Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. We have to apologize for, I guess it must be the heat. Something went wrong with our system, and things are not looking good. Anyway, go ahead and roll that tape, please, sir, if you would. Post-grad gangsters.
Okay, so I walk in with my ski mask and my shotgun, right? Everybody on the ground!
Where'd you get the shotgun?
Man, I don't know the internet. Shut up. Everyone be cool. This is a robbery! Okay, can you hold that? Can you hold that, please? Thank you. Sorry.
All right, that's our first guest today. He hails from San Jose, California. Began his career when his sketch comedy pitched, and they sold it to their late-night sketch show to a local television channel. Immediately, he dropped out of college and threw himself into the experience. This gentleman has traveled around the world, and by 25, he's already worked with some of the best comedy heroes out there, such as Kevin Pollak, Louis Black, Tracy Morgan, Bobby Slayton. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome that marvelous comedian and actor, Eric Toms. Eric, good morning, good afternoon, sir.
Hey, Ron, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good like a brother should, but man, this equipment just went wow. We ain't used to this. I'm after spanking after you're gone. I'll have a little conversation with this.
Yeah, a little conversation. Yeah, I know what that means.
Right.
Code, I got you.
Listen, these days with all the situation, we need some good comedy. Do you disagree? I mean, we got COVID-19, we got the economy, upcoming presidential elections. What do you think, sir?
Yes, absolutely. I think George Carlin really put it best that he said that comedy is the pressure release valve of society. It's very important at all times to be laughing or be able to poke fun at something. The moment that you can't laugh at something, then it starts to kill you. If you've ever wanted to hear the darkest, most bleak humor, go to a cancer ward sometime. It is insane and also really, really funny. But it's people staring down the barrel of the worst things, and you can still laugh at them. So, of course, we need all of that right now.
Right. Well, these days, I got to tell you, I got to laugh because situation is not looking good. And I got to tell you, you came out. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you've had because we only got a short time here. I want to make sure we got this right. In 2012, you did a movie called Disorientation Uncensored.
Yeah.
That was a funny movie.
It was, I like to think of it, if you remember the Ryan Reynolds movie, Van Wilder, it was like that, but not so stinky. It was a college romp movie. And
yes.
It was the sort of thing, like, simultaneously, I am ridiculously proud of it and ridiculously embarrassed by it. So it was a first time.
Embarrassed?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I think is so difficult in any craft, I don't care if you're an actor or if you're a writer or if you're a woodsmith, it doesn't matter. You're constantly trying to get better.
Right.
And one of the things that becomes difficult is the piece that you work on today that you are so proud of, you will lament tomorrow for the fact that, like, you've learned something new. You've gone in different directions. And so I look back to the sexy college romp of Disorientation. And it was a really fun experience. And we had an incredible time doing it. It was very low budget. It was a guerrilla style shooting. We were running in some place where we had no permits. So there was somebody we were paying to look out for the cops. We were doing very run and gun style. But having said that, I would have approached the project completely differently now here 8 years later than I would have back when it was 2012.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to May 2017. You co-founded and produced a show that will go down in history as a winner. You call it The Night of Short Nights. Remember that?
To give you a little bit of backstory, so when I first moved to Los Angeles,
Tony, can you put that picture up of Short Nights up there so you can see it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, does that bring it back?
That's it.
Okay. Okay.
when I first moved to Los Angeles, I moved here to be a film actor and television
Right.
actor and writer. But my first job happened to be a host for a TV show.
Yes.
And I was very fortunate to get the job. I was very excited. It was for Fox. It's great. The problem was, though, once you move into a position in the entertainment business, that's the only thing anyone can see you doing ever. So it takes this Herculean effort to show people, like, no, actually, like, I'm an actor. Like, I've studied. And so I kept getting on their host job, and I was getting so sick of it. And so finally, I just decided to start making my own thing. And I luckily had been friends with other filmmakers, and we'd made a short film together. It was just an idea that I had, and I found myself, I realized, like, if I'm going to pursue acting, then I just need to pursue acting. And I needed to come up with a network of people. And how do you meet people? Well, you throw a party is what you do. It's a great way to meet people, and especially if you're the host, people are usually talking about you. So I wanted to find other actors, other writers, and what's more, other makers, not just people who were, pitching to studios and things, but people who were grabbing the camera and going out and making it themselves. Those are the people that I really identify with the most, because I'm that kind of guy as well. Rather than let's just sit around and talk about how we don't have any opportunities, let's just go make our own opportunity. So I made a short film, and it just so happened I made a short film at the exact same time. A couple of my friends did. These two guys named the Cordelia brothers, James and Dave Cordelia. One's a director, and one is a cinematographer. So they had a short film. They had finished. I had a short film. I had finished. And Dave had made a joke. It was like, hey, let's show this someplace at a bar or something. And I thought, well, that sounds cool. I'll put like 30% effort into this. So being the lazy cuss that I am, I put on Facebook, hey, does anybody know a bar where we can show these things? And somebody wrote back and said, yes, there's a bar on Melrose. It's terrific. So I call it the bar, and I say, hey, I've got a couple of friends. We're going to show some shorts. We're going to bring a group of people, and it's on a Monday night. Monday are typically dead in bars and restaurants. And so this manager thought, great, I got a group of people coming in. They'll show their dumb shorts. I make some money. Sounds good. So my wife and I, we get a babysitter. We go to this place. I invite all these people, and the doors are locked and the lights are out and nobody's answering the phone. And I am in a panic. I am slowly freaking out because now my friends are starting to show up. And in my head, I'm starting to piece together the apology that I'm going to give them. And my wife, in her infinite wisdom, says, hey, why don't we try and just find another place? And honestly, I was kind of a jerk about it. I said, okay, yeah, you go find a bar on Melrose that'll just let us show all of our stuff. And Ron, not 2 minutes later, I get a text from my wife saying, yeah, I found a place. And I said, great. So I ushered everybody down the street. It was this, a spot at the time called The Parlor. And we showed our shorts there. And it was a terrific night. We had like about 20 people. And about halfway through, the manager came up to me and said, hey, if you ever want to do this again, give me a call. So I sat down with James Cordelia, who is a technical wizard, and I said, would you want to do this like as a monthly showcase? Like I'll find the shorts, and then when we get to the place, you plug them in and you project them. And he said, yeah, sure. And I said, okay. And one of the things that I loved the most when I was younger was just getting together with a group of friends in somebody's living room and watching the stuff that we had made. And I wanted to create that atmosphere. Like, we're just going to get together. It's not a festival. You don't have to vote. You don't have to bring all your friends. We're just going to sit down in a bar. We're going to have a beer. We're going to watch your work. We're going to applaud. We're going to get to know you. And then we're going to have a little party afterwards. And that's it. And so we decided to do that. And 3 years later, we're still doing it. So we had since moved from the Parlor, where we were at for 2.5 years, to a place called Night Night Bar in downtown Los Angeles. We're very excited about that. And that was in our January show. And then what happened? Coronavirus hits. So I knew I wanted to keep the show going, but I had to pivot a little bit. So instead of showing short films, now we're reading short film scripts. So the first Tuesday of every month, which is tomorrow, it's going to be our 38th show. We're reading 4 scripts by some fantastic filmmakers, and those scripts will one day grow up to be full-fledged short films. We're very excited to get everyone back together. We have some plans for doing a live show that would feature social distancing and masks so everyone would be safe. I mean, is it worth getting coronavirus to see me perform? Yes, it is. But in this case, I would rather that people don't get sick. So we're still working on the logistics of that because I want everyone to be safe. But we still want the show to go on because that's really at the heart of the things that I love, is getting a bunch of makers together and sharing one another's work. my assumption is that Ron is in awe of my incredible storytelling skills.
All right. Yeah, I think he is stuck.
Just out of curiosity, we still live?
We are still live.
Oh, good.
But
while I take this time, if anybody out there is a filmmaker or a writer and you're interested in getting your piece read, qualifications a little bit, you can go to facebook.com/night. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram. I think maybe LinkedIn is still happening there too. I don't know why, but you can go ahead and write to me. We prefer the pieces to be about 10 pages in length. There's some leeway if it's a little light, if it's a little heavy. Okay, that's fine. And then we get together Tuesday night, and it is a Zoom link that I put on my Facebook page. I put it on about 48 different pages on Facebook, as well as Twitter and Instagram. You can just log in, and it's completely free. It costs absolutely nothing. And I should have mentioned that as well. Even our bar show is completely free. It costs nothing to the filmmakers, costs nothing to the audience members. So it was a great experience in that as well, because anyone who is a filmmaker in the LA area or anywhere really knows that people just want to extract filmmakers, and it's so heartbreaking because you've spent all of your money on your film, you get it scored, you do color correction, you edit, it looks great, and then there's this whole other back end of fees that you need to pay to get into competitions, or get it to festivals, or even to get to a festival costs you money. And so I wanted to set up a networking system that would be here in Los Angeles that would cost you nothing. Now, of course, moving over to Zoom, it makes sense. We also don't charge as well. But it's a great community of people who get together. We read all the scripts. We don't really have, there's a lot of theater companies and film companies that are doing this sort of thing. And then they're also offering feedback, which we don't do. This is just like, hey, we're going to read your bit. You get to listen to it, see how it sounds, and you might make some changes. And a few of the people, actually, there's a guy by the name of Sam, and he is my hero. And he actually wrote and filmed and edited a piece while in COVID. And I got to hand it to him. He was very smart about it. I'm looking up his name. I'm not being rude. He was very smart about it and managed to, he shot the whole thing and did it very safely, mind you, as well. I saw all the behind the scenes footage. Everyone quarantined together for 2 weeks. They were taking temperatures constantly. They wanted to make sure that that no one got sick as a result of this. And you can check him out. His name is Sam Lucas Smith, terrific guy, wildly handsome, irritatingly handsome, which I never appreciate because as it is, like, I'm working the best I can with what I have. It's not much, but here we are. Anyway, he had started. It was one of the first, I think it was maybe our first one in lockdown, which I believe was March. He had this, I think, 8-page script. And got all his actors together, his DP together. And I think it was about 10 people, but he had written it as such. So there would only ever be 3 actors in a room together at once. So my friends who have been filming during coronavirus, I have the same guy I mentioned, Dave Padilla, has been, he shot 2 commercials for Amazon. The crew was able to be very safe. You have a couple of crew members come in, they have masks on, they're setting things up. But then you have your actors come in, and your actors have to take their masks off. There's no choice. So luckily, Sam had taken this idea of like, if we have to get actors together, let's make sure they're safe. So we just quarantined together, like the NBA. It's like they had their bubble for 2 weeks. And most people were able to either stay at his place or stay at the place where they were going to be filming. My hat's off to him because it's hard enough to make a short film. It's exponentially harder to make a short film during lockdown. But he did it, and so I was very proud of him. Like I said, our next show for Night of Shorts Night is tomorrow, 8 o'clock. If you are interested at all, like I said, you can contact me on any of the social medias. You can always find me at Tom's Funny, Toms Funny, like the shoe company, and funny. reach out to me. I read all of the scripts. I watch all of the short films because, when you're training as a writer, there are books and books and books that are hundreds and hundreds of pages that give you all these tips and tricks. And honestly, a lot of them are kind of nonsense. The best book for writing I've ever read is Stephen King's book called On Writing, and it's about 120 pages. And he says the exact same thing in the foreword. It's just the idea that there's so much that you need to learn when it comes to writing. It's not at all true. Really, if you want to be a great writer, you just do two things. You read a lot and you write a lot. And that is the exact same for filmmaking, for writing, for film. Watch a lot of movies, read a lot of screenplays, and write a lot. That's really the things that you need to do in order to find a voice, in order to find compelling work. And so that was what I set out to do. Like, I want to be a filmmaker. My original plan was not that. When I was growing up, I was best friends with these two guys named Garrett and Graham Ratliff. And literally, I've known them since I was 5 years old. And when we were growing up, we were the biggest fans of Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, and Ivan Raimi. And we loved like all of the Evil Dead films. If you ever see Crime Wave, it's another film. It's terrific. And that was going to be our plan. We were going to move to Los Angeles. Garrett Ratliff was going to be Graham Ratliff was going to be the director, and me, Eric Thompson, star of the film. Great. They made one film, and it really did not do very well. And I think a lot of people underestimate what a weird combination you need to, as far as being a person is built, being an artist. You need to have an extreme amount of sensitivity to where you understand people's stories and you can crawl into somebody else's skin and tell their story. But at the same time, you also need to be very tough and resilient. And you are hearing no constantly, just all the time. And so, yeah, they made this film, and it